Hello everybody, welcome back to JRE in a Nutshell. I'm your host Rafa, and this is the only show online where we tell you timestamps and subjects, sources, and all that kind of stuff, interesting stuff about the Joe Rogan Experience interview. So if you like the Joe Rogan Experience interview, this is the place to be. I'm gonna help you save some time, which subjects of which interviews you find interesting, so you can realize maybe you don't need to watch 3 hours just to see if you can find something interesting. Also, down all the descriptions, all the timestamps, and all the sources are down in the description. So please don't forget, if you want more information, you can click on that. Also, the links for all the people that visited. And I want to apologize because I posted on Instagram since Joe said on the Tom Segura interview that he was going to have Tony Woods over. I posted that and he didn't come this week. So either he was talking about him coming to the Mothership or to Austin and not to the Experience, or he's gonna be released next week, or he's just fucking around. So I don't know, but I'm sorry that I'm spreading some misinformation about the JRE. Cool. So this week we had 3 interviews, 2 UFC ones. It's the first time that I've seen that. So a lot of fighting, and the other one is Tom Segura, as we know, very famous stand-up comedian, very funny guy. So a lot of fighting, a lot of comedy, and some other interesting stuff. We also speak about Hunter Biden. We speak about gambling and some interesting information about Dana White, that is a gambler. I had no idea. Some pretty cool shit going on. I'm gonna talk about it in the Tom Segura part. And we speak about censorship as well. Sadly, as I said, it's a subject coming all the time. I'm not sadly. Of course, we have to speak about it. It's very important that we have some exposure on this topic. But it's very sad that we have to talk about it because, nothing good can come from censorship. So don't forget to stay until the quote of the week at the end, and don't forget to share, like, subscribe, all that cool shit. And yeah, let's get started. So let's start with MMA show 142. We have 3 guests. We have Matt Serra, we have Dean Thomas, and we have John Rallo. So this is a very funny interview. Matt Serra is taking the spotlight on this one. He's obviously an attention whore. Doesn't matter what subject they're talking about. He always like, oh, that happened to me, or oh, something similar. But it's hilarious. I'm not gonna give shit on the guy because he's a funny dude. And yeah, it was a very funny interview. We speak obviously about fighting most of the time, UFC, the history, the past. They also have some stories to share between each other, and 20 years ago this and this happened, which is not really interesting but very funny, my perspective, of course. They speak about Serra's restaurant, some video games, and they speak about the scores when it comes to the judges, how they're counting the scores, and how the judges' decisions are made, which is bullshit, I agree. And they speak about weight cutting and how difficult it is. They go to boxing, they go to VR, a lot of video games involved, VR MMA, and there's some new games that are coming up. That's cool. They speak about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu against other martial arts, the efficiency and the goods and the bads and stuff like this. Pretty cool. And they speak about nutrition and a lot of cool shit, funny stuff, stories. It's a pretty funny interview. Not very interesting, as I said, but funny as fuck. Unless you like fighting, then yeah, okay. So I would give it 3 nuts. It's a funny interview. You're gonna have a laugh, but I don't think you're gonna learn much. Or yeah, it's just basically light interview for distraction. So yeah, 3 nuts.
But, everything is money, dude. I'd fucking, Joe Rogan, if somebody fucking came here and put $1 million on this table right now and said attack Joe Rogan, I would attack Joe Rogan and deal with the court case later. As your special forces guys come and shoot me.
So now let's go to MMA 143 with Sean Strickland. This felt to me like a 2-hour therapy session where Sean is the angriest dude. He had a fucked up childhood. They speak a lot about his past, and they speak about all of his traumas and shit that happened to him. And yeah, the guy, he's fucked up. He had a very fucked up childhood, and he's open and honest about it. I like that about him, that at least he's honest about his thoughts and about his feelings. He doesn't hide and he doesn't pretend to be a good guy. To the opposite, actually. He calls himself a piece of shit all the time, and Joe is like, dude, but you're not a piece of shit. It's a therapy session, honestly. And the guy's like, yeah, because I always felt how it would just feel good to kill someone. I don't know, I don't hate anybody, but just that feeling. And he's like, Joe is like, dude, what the fuck? Therapy session, 100%. Funny, kind of interesting, I would say. It's mostly about him, and they speak a lot of emotional stuff because they're dealing with his problems, with Strickland's problems. problems. So they speak about self-control and jokes, and when people are shitting on each other. He gives shit to Jake Paul, he gives shit to John Jones, he gives shit to fucking to Ngannou. Man, it's fucking crazy, this guy. So yeah, it's a very angry interview, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. I was laughing the whole 2 hours. So yeah, Sean Strickland gets 2.5 nuts, and yeah, man, go check it out. So, and now let's go to the timestamps of this amazing interview with Tom Segura. It's pretty fun. Please, before we start, don't forget to follow me, like me, subscribe, all that cool shit, all the cliches. So let's move on. So with Tom Segura, it was a pretty funny interview. Obviously, they speak about stand-up a lot. They know each other for a very long time. They've been in the scene for a very long time. So they speak a lot about stand-up. Also, he lost a lot of weight. So the way that they start is with nutrition and workout, and how now workout is part of his habit. And it's not like before he had goals and then, okay, I lost this X amount of weight and now there's no more goals, so you pick up on the weight. So the trick is exactly that, just to make it part of your daily routine, and then there's no diet, there's no exercise goal or challenge, you just work out daily. So yeah, that's the way I do it, basically. So yeah, they spoke about that for a while, and about Bert as well, who is kind of a chubby guy because he drinks a fuckload, but he's also very healthy. They speak about quality of life, how good we have it on the West. They move to the problem going on in France. They speak a bit about that, and they speak about the move to cops. They don't speak a lot about why, to be honest. They just say, yeah, you see the shit in France? Shit is burning. Yeah, cool. And then they move to cops. Then they move to cops and the attitude that people have towards cops. They also talk about working from home, the situation that's happening. People don't want to go to the office. Then they move to the student loan and the situation with forgiving the debt. Then they move to stand-up. They stay there for a while in stand-up. They speak about the Mothership. They speak about being famous and working hard and the feeling of failure. They talk about the Hunter Biden laptop and about the crack and about the trace of cocaine that was just found out about a week after Hunter was in the White House. What a coincidence. And all that crazy fun shit. So yeah, it's hilarious. Pool, other hobbies, training martial arts as a hobby, comedy as well. Then they move to censorship. So how YouTube banned Theo and Roseanne's podcast. They even played the clip of the reason why they banned it. Ridiculous, obviously, as it always is. But yeah, so they moved to that part, border fraud, censorship, and the situation politically right now in society. And of course, they speak about RFK and all of the candidates and things that is going on politically. They stay in politics, right-wingers, and gay rights. So the problems that Joe has, of course, as we all are, I think, especially people who consider themselves in the middle, we have a little bit opinions on the left or a little bit on the right. And this is one of the things that I agree with him, that I don't understand what right-wing people have against gay rights. So yeah, I see the point of the right-wing people, but I don't agree with it, because yeah, I think we should evolve. Doesn't matter. So yeah. And then we move on to gambling, and they spend the rest of the conversation talking on gambling. And at the end, they speak about how Dana White won $7 million in the Palms Casino in Vegas gambling. And this is the reason why the UFC moved out of Palms. Apparently, the Palms was butthurt that Dana won so much money. So yeah, that's a really funny, interesting story. And yeah, at the very end, Tom speaks about his new special. So the new special he has on Netflix. So yeah, it's a pretty cool interview. I would give it 3.5 nuts. Hilarious, interesting, some news, some conspiracy. Pretty cool. I think if you're gonna watch one interview this week, it should be this one. This is the one that I found most interesting. The other two are mostly, like I said, about fighting, and they're just funny, just hilarious. If you wanna have a laugh, it's just 3-4 guys talking bullshit, and yeah, it's just fun. So cool. For this one, 3.5 nuts. Tom Segura, check it out.
Well, we don't learn shit about anything you need to manage life.
No.
You're basically learning how to say words and not form sentences.
You don't learn about, you don't learn about money.
Yeah.
You don't learn about nutrition.
Nope.
Nothing about that.
You don't learn about thinking.
No.
I mean, you know how many kids could be saved from a lifetime of bullshit if you just explain to them why jealousy, why it affects them?
Sure, emotions.
And explain that these are just natural human emotions that we evolve, but you have to learn how to conquer them.
And you learn how to, you learn that like one of the most amazing. It seems like it's something you should be taught in like middle school. Is feel feeling. Let them sit.
Yes. Yeah.
When you feel jealous,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to never feel jealous.
Right.
But you learn to go, okay, that's the feeling.
Yeah.
I'm feeling, and this is why I feel jealous about it. And guess what? All feelings they dissipate, but they get worse. They extend when you fight them, when you resist. I don't want to feel it, and you don't want to actually process the feeling and deal with it. I mean, having that understanding that all those emotions are natural to have, it's like it really is something that could serve you so much better to learn younger. I don't want to learn that at 40.
Right.
Teach me that at 13.
Right.
You know, yeah, it would make high school a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, they should teach kids the value of exercise in terms of mental health, the benefits that it has on that. No, you have to figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
You figure that out through trial and error, through your own life.
Totally.
Yeah, nobody's teaching, unless you're listening to podcasts, nobody's teaching you that in school.
How to think.
No one's teaching you how to think.
So, and that is a wrap for another JRE in a nutshell. Thank you very much for being here. Please share and all that stuff, and like and subscribe and all that cool shit. But the most important is tell your friends. This is really the most important. It's the word of mouth. I'm not gonna pay for any marketing for now. I'm doing this as a hobby. So yeah, please tell your friends. If I find that people are gonna come and find this useful, then I might invest on marketing to reach more people. But for now, let's just see where this goes. I think this is very useful, so that's why I'm promoting it. I wouldn't promote any shit product. So if there's anything that you think, oh, actually your product is shit because you don't do this or you don't do that, cool. Please let me know. Maybe I can add some twerks or, make it better. Or, just tell me, yeah, it's cool, everything is cool. I like this more, I like that more. All of that I'm open to. Please let me know and share with your friends who like the JRE. They're going to save a lot of time. They're going to be very grateful. So don't forget to stay until the quote of the week. And I'll see you next week, guys. Peace.
If you're a conspiracy theorist, this is the real conspiracy. The conspiracy is have as many social problems as possible that people get distracted by, that people concentrate on, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's masks, vaccines, pride, trans movement, sponsor drag shows for kids if you want people to get mad and want people to get distracted.
Right.
Sponsor
Let them focus on that.
Get people to think that it's a good idea to do that and watch the outrage. Get people to think that the oceans are going to be boiling in 5 years.
Right.
Get people to think that if we don't change it, like that was one of the things that Greta Thunberg said 5 years ago, that we'll all be dead.
In 5 years?
Well, it's 5 years later, and we're not all dead. So you definitely are wrong, and you're 16. So why are they flying you out to Ukraine? What is going on? Yeah. So there's so many of these fucking social distractions that are in our face all day long about everything. And I feel like sometimes that's what I feel like about Supreme Court rulings. We're going to take away Roe v. Wade, and everybody's like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah.
What? And that's another one. Yeah. And then that one becomes a thing that people identify as the most important problem that they have to solve. And while all this is going on, money's getting moved around, decisions are getting made.
Yeah.
And it's a brilliant cover for wild shit.